Hello, I just went and saw Sheep Detectives. Ignore the shirt. I got it in the mail yesterday, so that's why I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt. But I really like this movie. I was pleasantly surprised. Just sort of bear in mind with me, I'm very tired today. We did a lot of errands, and I think that's why. But I went and saw it with both of my parents, so there's that. And I had seen like ads for this movie on TikTok, and I was like, this movie looks stupid. It looks so stupid. I'm just curious. I was like, it's a movie about sheep solving a murder. Like this seems really dumb. I'm very intrigued. And then we watched it and it's very cute. It's very cute. It's very fun. It's not like the greatest movie in the world, but I didn't have high expectations for a movie called The Sheep Detectives. So I don't truly know what I expected, but it has to given I will state it's been a minute since I've seen a whodunit that's not like Knives Out related. It's been a minute since then, but it does have to give, I think, a lot of its sort of stuff to Knives Out. It gives very Knives Out vibes. I even think like from the posters alone, it kind of like looks like a Knives Out poster a little bit in a way, but it definitely like gives those kind of vibes. It's not with like the Great Detective. Like the Great Detective is instead a sheep who just sort of like hears about detective stories all the time from her shepherd, but it very much sort of gives that off with the very mostly towards the end with the reveal that the son was the killer the whole time. Like it very much has that reveal where it's like this is, the cop is the one that figures it out. He has help from the sheep, but like he's the one that figures it out, and then sort of like goes off on this tangent like explaining why the son is the killer, and then it does the whole flashback of to like what he actually did to be able to pull said murder off. And I think that's sort of where I got the Knives Out vibes from it. But I like it's, I don't know, I think this day and age, like if we have a whodunit, we're all gonna compare it to Knives Out because Knives Out is peak whodunit content right there. So I think there's just that. But apparently it's based off of a book. I kind of want to read it now. But yeah, it's just it's a very cute movie. Like it has a nice introduction where like there was more Hugh Jackman than I was expecting. I guess it kind of makes sense cuz like Hugh Jackman's a very expensive actor to hire. So I guess it kind of makes sense that he's in it more than I expected, but it's like we get him for a decent amount of time in the beginning before he dies, and then of course he like shows up here and there and flashbacks and stuff like that in a weird like ghost speaking to Lily scene later, which was more cute than anything else, but it was very interesting. But I don't know where to talk about this movie. It was very cute. Like I think it has a nice, I think just to go back, like you get your characters. Like there's a butcher, there's another shepherd, there's this daughter that all of a sudden shows up, there's this son who's on the phone, but like none of us really ever thought of him. That's why I thought like that it was actually a really interesting ending, is because I completely forgot about the son. I completely forgot about the son, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then this son that we've all never actually met, and I was like, oh my god, that's ingenious. But yeah, like there's that, and then there's this like owner of an inn that like they don't all really get along with for some reason, and like this dumb cop who's never really solved a case before or anything like that. And I thought was interesting. My one sort of complaint in regards to characters is I thought that the owner of the inn, I don't know, she didn't fit like everybody else did. Like it's revealed at the end that apparently she was in love with him, but it never gave off those vibes ever. And it it felt weird and sort of out of place. Like everything else sort of makes sense. It's like there's this guy, he really likes sheep, he wants to take care of them. He's apparently a vegetarian. Like he uses the sheep for their wool and nothing else. There's another shepherd on the other side whose like land technically belongs to George, and he's not using his sheep for just their wool. He's also slaughtering his sheep. Well, he's, with the butcher, like he's with, isn't his name like actually meat or something like that? It was something like crazy, like not at all subtle or anything like that, but like, working with this butcher and like to, create this like meat packing industry with sheep and stuff like that. Like it's not like, so we just sort of have those characters that have those sort of like obvious, I guess, in a way, ties towards like possibly being suspects, but it's like the daughter was like too obvious. It kind of felt like they were pulling a bit of a Knives Out with that. I'm sorry, I keep comparing it to Knives Out, but they're kind of pulling a bit of a Knives Out with that, where it's sort of like she's like the Marta of the group, where it's not like she doesn't know everybody. Well, I mean, Marta knows everybody in the family, but like she's sort of not like with everybody else. Like in this case, it's like George's daughter just arrives from America. They've never really met in person before. They've never interacted. It's kind of surprising to find out that George has kids, except for the priest who knew the whole time, and it's just like everything is blamed on her because of that, when it's like she technically was there the night he was killed, so it's like she has the least amount of an alibi, and like I don't know how to explain any of this, but like the most suspicious, I guess, of the group, when it's like in reality it's not her, but she was supposed to be blamed for the murder, just like how Ransom blamed Marta for his grandfather's death. And so it's just like it's very Knives Out. It's very Knives Out in that sense. And like the priest was just there. That was just weird. Like I don't I don't know. It's a strange movie. Like I liked it. It was just very strange, and it's dumb and it's stupid. And one thing that I was very glad that it turned out very well, but like I don't know, I don't think I've really seen a whole lot of Amazon original movies, but like I was like, dear, I will state that I don't think I've ever really seen one of those like live action CG movies before. Like I've never seen like the quote unquote live action Lion King, like the quote unquote live action like Jungle Book or anything like that. I'm trying to think of a movie like that I've seen, but I don't think I've really seen any like that. So I don't uh, like I know that those movies can look good, but I'm like, God, please let these sheep that I'm about to see for like 2 straight hours actually look good. And they do. I was like, okay, like there are some bits here and there where like it looks a little ridiculous, especially with like interacting. Like there was a couple times when like humans are interacting with one of the sheep and it just doesn't look quite right. But like other than that, like the sheep look really good. Like the talking's pretty good. I was like very like, oh thank God, because I don't want to be looking at like atrociously fake looking CG sheep for 2 hours. So I'm very glad of that. I liked the interaction between the sheep because this movie is about the sheep. Like there are other characters, but it's like the movie is about the sheep, and I actually really like that because you get a lot of interesting interactions between all the sheep, where it's like Lily's sort of like in charge of everybody, but it's like she doesn't know as much as she thinks she does, and that's where I want to say his name is Motley comes involved, where it's like he is the wisest because he doesn't like choose to forget like everybody else, and so he knows the most out of everybody. And then Sebastian is sort of like the most rugged. I was actually genuinely sad when Sebastian died. Like I was kind of hoping that he would like live throughout the whole thing, but he very much is like the lone wolf, or like the lone sheep, and then decides to save Lily against the dogs and dies in the process. But it's like she sort of learns from that, where it's like they all had this prejudice against sheep being born in the winter, and I know nothing about sheep, so like I'm sure this is an actual thing, but I know nothing about sheep, and apparently they don't like sheep who were born in the winter, which is why there's this little tiny adorable baby lamb that they all shun. And it turns out Sebastian was born in the winter, which is why he was essentially shipped to a carnival and was like fighting dogs and stuff like that. And sort of she like Lily gains this respect for Sebastian and realizes that it's like because the other sheep ignore what is eventually the little lamb's name becomes George because Lily names him George, where like George, knows more than anybody else, but because everybody ignores him, it's like he can't really speak his mind and stuff like that. But then it's like he still wants to help because he loves human George. Like human George was essentially the only person besides Rebecca who like loved and respected him. And then it's very cute at the end where it's like Lily sort of like allows George to come in. She gives him his name. She like allows him to come with the flock and stuff like that. And then they like look up and they see like the cloud that's like shaped like Sebastian. It's very cute and very sad at the same time, and I did like that. But I think that it's very interesting to watch a movie, and I mean it happens with like animated shows and stuff like that, but I think it's just like between humans and these CG animals at the same time, and it's like the CG animals sort of have better chemistry with each other than some of the humans. And I wouldn't necessarily say that the humans don't have good chemistry, but it's like they, in a way, they don't. Like, they don't really interact with each other a lot. Like, it's mostly between the humans and the sheep, which is mostly just the cop and the sheep. And I loved those interactions. He's like, what the fuck are these sheep doing? But I think it's also just like all the interactions between the humans are very awkward, I would say, which I find very interesting. And I don't know if it's just like they were supposed to be portrayed as awkward so that we find sheep interacting with each other more believable, but like the humans just tend to not interact very well with each other more than other people. I don't know where this tangent was going. Like I said, I'm very tired. We did a lot of stuff today and I'm just, oh, my brain. But yeah, like I overall I really liked this movie. Like I thought it was super cute. Like I had no expectations. Like the only reason I've like reached a point, and this is kind of with The Devil Wears Prada, where now I'm just watching movies out of sheer curiosity. I'm like, I'm curious about this movie, and I was like, this is a fun movie. My mom really wanted to see it, and I had a coworker who like she was talking about how she really wanted to see it. So it's just sort of like, yeah, but it looks so stupid. Like I was telling some of my other coworkers, they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "It's a movie about sheep solving a murder." And they're like, "That sounds really stupid." And I'm like, "Exactly." But it was very fun. It had a stacked cast. Like, and most of those cast you don't even see, so I didn't even notice until the credits. But I was like, "Wow, there are a lot of like actually genuinely famous people playing the sheep." So that was fun. But yeah, like it was cute and it was fun and entertaining. It's stupid, but like I think that's the point. So there's that. But I think those are all of my thoughts for this. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's cute and it's dumb and I love it, and it's like it's Knives Out for kids is how I would describe this. I mean, like Knives Out isn't the most inappropriate thing in the world. Like there's cussing and stuff like that, but like and they try not to show the murders on screen as well. But like this is genuinely like if you want to get your kids into whodunits, this is the movie. Like this is the only way that I can describe it is it's like it's Knives Out meant for children and it's cute. So there's that. But yeah, I hope you liked this review. Let me know if you've seen The Sheep Detectives and what you thought of it. But yeah, like, subscribe. Bye bye.